of Angels. It's Sunday night. I'm in a mood, baby. That's why we went with tonight with Matt Pack. You. I've listened to Matt Pack for like years. He used to be called Mike Dews. That's how long I go back with this dude. Like, I'm talking like a decade. Very talented electronica producer. And it's got a lot of energy and a lot of life, vibrancy. Exactly like the movie we're going to lead off with here tonight. Real Pain. If I can get one thing for you tonight on MMT, it is that you start celebrating films like A Real Pain and trashing films like Anora. Because one of them has humanity. One of them is outstanding. One of them has the best performance I've seen this year. And the other one is the most overrated piece of shit I've seen in years. We are going to destroy Anora again tonight. Those of you who saw it, let's go. Let's do it. Let's just go all in again. Fuck that film. I was in a good mood. Now I'm angry again because I'm talking about Anora. Fucking A, that film sucks. But tonight we have a great film to talk about. Thank you, Vader Monkey. Appreciate it. I saw DJ Webslinger. That's my old rave DJ, baby. I mean, my life, man, it's been crazy, but it's been fun. All right, let's pull it down and get ready to go here on this Sunday night live from the City of Angels. Let's go. Let's do it. And let's talk about a film that I absolutely adore. It's going to be a wild night because I just came out of Red One, and I actually don't hate the film. I know that goes against brand, right? You expect me to come on here tonight and absolutely gut Red One. Well, it's not going to happen because, listen, here's what I want you guys to understand. There's nobody, and I mean nobody, in this space who has the ability to get back to zero and to balance the scales like I do, because ultimately we are objective, right? Because that's how we go into every film, as much as I maybe don't want to sit through it like I didn't want to see Red One. And then I sit there and I say, balance, zero, go. And then we start our evaluation. And I think anybody in the space who is not doing it that way, and by the way, that's 90% of the people in this space, you can't trust them because they are biased. They carry agendas into these things. And I go back and I look at, now that we know Trump is going to be the next president, go look, remember Hillbilly Elegy, right? J.D. Vance, the story of him growing up in small town Ohio, and you had some great performances in that film. I remember reading so many critics going, this film's terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen because J.D. Vance's politics. Right off the bat, okay, just so you know, if you utter that phrase, if you go in to a film and say, this film's already bad, it is not accomplished at any level because of the politics of the life story of the person being told, right? No, we don't do that. You need to understand that is so completely and utterly inauthentic. And also it's compromised. I can't stand people like that. And forever we will fly the flag of being objective, fearless, and talent, all combined in the number one gold standard anywhere, MMT. Here we go. It's time to get started with our number one evaluation here tonight on this Sunday. Thanks for being here. This Sunday Evening Spectacular is underway live, as always, here from the City of Angels. And we have one of the best films of the year. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the best screenplay of 2024, without question. Before I get into the film, let's have a look at the trailer for A Real Pain.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Boner
is not available.
Hey, Benji, I just got to the airport. I really hope you left already. Oh, God, you made it.
What's up, cuz? I got some good shit from when we land.
Wait, you're not like taking weed into Poland, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Benji?
They don't give a shit about that stuff, man.
I think they very much do give a shit about
that.
Oh,
yeah.
We get high in backseats so cold.
Davers and I are cousins. We used to be joined at the hip. Our grandma was from here, so Dave arranged for us to join this geriatric Polish tour with you fine people.
That's the way we get by.
I really needed this, man. I know that it's tough for you to leave your boy.
The way we get by.
I don't really have anything going on.
I know it's been a tough few months for you, so...
I also want to say that I know you're not the most comfortable person with people.
I'm not?
No.
Does it look real?
Well, they're twice the size of you in metal, so...
You sure you don't want to come up here?
I'm good.
Can you take my picture?
That's what I'm talking about. Marcia!
Thank you, David.
But it's amazing that you're here, putting yourself out there so boldly for me.
Thank you, man.
Let's go smoke a joint.
Word of warning, this will be a tour about Penn.
Our grandmother and Benji were super close.
I mean, she was the coolest. I've just been in a real funk, I guess.
And I'm going to pause. This film is all about the man you see on your screen right now. Now, I don't watch Succession. So for those of you about ready to say, well, this is what he does on Succession, I don't watch it. So you can't use that card with me. This is really the first time I've seen Kieran Culkin since he was a kid that I can remember, right? Of course, I've seen him win every award for his role in Succession. But in this film, he has such range and such energy. This dude is a live wire. He is by far the best performance of 2024. Any supporting lead, anything in a movie, you're not going to see something better than Kieran Culkin. If he does not walk away with Oscar this year, we are doing something horribly wrong. Now, here's what happens with Oscars before I get into more of why this film absolutely rocks. I can't wait for you guys to see this thing next week. It expands. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when you look at when the Oscars have the opportunity to do the right thing, and we're talking about right here, by far, the best performance of 2024. We need to make that happen. And what happens is, all of a sudden, things get, momentum, and things lose momentum, and this person's hot and this person's cold. You got to get rid of that. It doesn't matter. I don't care if A Real Pain debuted at Sundance and now I'm finally seeing it in November. It comes out now, okay? And I can tell you that when you watch this film, you will be sitting there saying to yourself, holy shit, this is transformative. This is human. This is emotional. And this guy, Kieran, has to play this manic depressive live wire who is completely and utterly unfiltered, saying things that he shouldn't say, but yet endearing himself somehow to the rest of that tour group as they all go over to explore Poland and to find their grandmother's place, their cousins, right? When you look at Jesse and Kieran in this film. But what I adore about this is it portrays a four-dimensional, depressed human being that is masking it all with this just bolt of energy. And there's so many moments in this film where Kieran gets to do his thing. And I'm just sitting there watching going, oh my God, I am so into what is happening right now. When you get that moment in cinema where you are one with the screen and you believe what you're watching are two cousins making this tour across Poland, and he's trying to figure his life out, Kieran Culkin, and Jesse, as you'd expect, the buttoned up cousin, and kind of their clash, right, of working off one another. And then the rest of the tour group, I think it's really well written with their roles as well. It's the best screenplay of the year. I'd suggest it's brilliant. It's got, again, when I go back to my tweet reaction from last night, it's got all the humanity and the humor and also that emotion, and everything is packaged here. And I think the other thing that is really strong here is, and I know it's not flashy. Jesse Eisenberg's direction is not flashy here, but what this film requires is exactly the direction that you get, right? It's just giving you the bare minimum, essentially, ferrying you from scene to scene. But Jesse does that very well here. And in those transitions, he plays classical music pieces. And I think that works too, because it brings the mood back to a sense of reverence, right? Because you're at these places where so many people lost their lives. So this film does a really tremendous job of balancing that emotion of loss and grief with hope, and ultimately just a level of pathos that I think you can't get with very many films. And this film does that because it has so much humor and humanity locked into it. And that gets back to Jesse. That gets back certainly to Kieran Culkin. And guys, as we, hopefully someone else has seen this, and you definitely know what I'm talking about, because come in with the comments. If you have not seen this film yet, I understand why, because it's not everywhere yet. You need to see it. I'm giving it a 95% tonight. By far one of the best films of the year. Anyone, let's make sure this is clear. before we continue along here tonight, anyone who has this film ranked below Honora is to not be trusted ever in the history of film. Never again. You can't trust them with anything. This is what and here's the thing. So you guys go, why does Weber rail so hard against Honora? Because the narrative is that this is a best picture. I'm sorry. We're going to rail every fucking time I come on the stream, if I have to destroy Honora, to nuke, to absolutely make that thing fucking leveled and in the trash. I don't want to talk about Honora again. I'm going to continue every time I do one of these streams, because this film is what you should be talking about, not Sean Baker's horribly written, embarrassing screenplay with truly one-note characters again. One more time for everybody. Fuck Honora. I'm going to say it every time I do one of these streams. A Real Pain is by far the film you should be talking about. 95%, one of the best of the year, best screenplay of the year, no question. By the way, this film opens wide in 900 plus locations coming up next weekend. So those of you who want to go out and see a great film, go see A Real Pain next week. It'll be available to you. Saw it a couple weeks back at FYC screening here in Vancouver. It's well written, full of humanity, fast moving, and Kieran is first rate. Music choice annoyed me a bit, though. I understand. Listen, Mark, I respect your takes, certainly for sure. I think that 90-minute runtime works because, again, we see so many films that have too much in them. They have no ability to self-edit. I give Eisenberg credit here for whittling it down and keeping it moving. And then those moments, right? Because this is not a film that has all of these crazy events occurring. It's more the smaller conversations, right? There's a conversation Jesse Eisenberg has when Kieran steps out at a restaurant they're all at there in Poland, and he has to do his whole emotional, this guy is a mess. Because listen, Kieran Culkin doesn't have his life together. He's sleeping on his parents' couch in the basement. He tries to commit suicide. He's got a lot of issues, right? Again, that manic depressive, but yet he portrays and shows to the world that he is this full of life, humorous, goofy, let's just go for it. And that go for broke contrasted with that deep depression that you can see at times. That ending shot on this film is great too. That is what is making this film so great for me. And by far, you need to watch this film. Anybody who has this on a maybe must-see, put this on number one. The dinner table scene, right, Mark? Yeah, exactly. That's Jesse Eisenberg's scene, and I have no problem throwing him in there for Best Actor. I think that's how they're doing this. I'm going to guess they're going to put Eisenberg in lead, and I'm telling you guys, this year I'm a little bit not even caring. In the past, I knew all this shit backwards and forward. This year, I can tell you, if I'm slotting this, I'm going to put Kieran Culkin in supporting, because he's going to have a better chance, certainly for the nomination and for the win. It's that strong of a performance. It's one of those you can flip either way, because the first person we see in the film is Culkin, but then the film really is told through Jesse's eyes. So it's really close, man. It's like a 51-49. So if they flip it, I think that's how they should do it. That's what I would do. But that, that's one of the things that we talk about during award season. That's up to Searchlight to decide, where do you want to slot these guys? Do you want to make which one supporting, which one lead? That's important when you're trying to get nominations, ultimately wins as well. So we'll continue along here. Any other comments? Let's do it on this film. It's great. Go see it. But it's time for our second movie of the night in moments. Music is a tribute to Poland, because Chopin is the greatest musician in Poland. Yeah, it's tons of Chopin. And it's so, I love the transitions. I know for some people, Mark just said it gets a little bit, I get it. But for me, I think it gives the film a little bit more than just scene to scene to scene. We get those transition moments of Chopin, and I think that works for me. I understand how it is repetitive, but again, I like the choice. I think it's a thumbs up for me on that choice. Let's go and let's get ready for the Red One review. I have to get the trailer ready, because I listen, when I watched the trailer, I was like, I don't want to watch this movie. I have no interest in watching Red One. And then I sat through it, and guys, it's one of these tonight that I'm kind of shocked that I didn't hate, and I am not going to savage. I'm going to warn you, if you wanted me to come on the stream and start destroying Red One, it's not going to happen. I'll destroy Honora for a whole hour. Do you want me to do that? I can do that right before the Oscars. If it's nominated, we'll have an entire hour of trashing Honora. I'll just come up. It'll be a roast of Honora. God, the rape jokes. What a fucking disaster of a movie. Okay, guys, here we go. It's time for Red One. Let's watch the trailer. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans in a buddy cop Yuletide comedy adventure.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. People go on where you can see and
Hi, Jack.
Okay, let's get a little more. That's not much. That's like one scene.
Who plays?
Welcome to the North Pole.
Come again?
Last night, Red One, also known as St. Nicholas of Myra, was abducted.
Are you saying Santa Claus has been kidnapped?
You're the best tracker in the world. You're going to help us find him.
I work alone. You used to. I'm not gonna like you. I can tell right away. Out of everyone here, I like you the least. Garcia?
Okay, so here's the number one reason I'm actually sort of recommending this film. Don't listen when I say that Red One is not the worst movie I've seen this year. Please understand that this is graded on a curve, and let me explain why. Because I understand what Red One's doing, right? I'm not going to go into Red One expecting a real pain, and conversely, Red One expecting a real pain, right? I understand what that it's trying to do. I think that's so important to any evaluation. And this is a $200 million Christmas buddy cop adventure as they try to save Santa Claus. I know for some of you, you're like, why? Why would I do this? And I'm not saying you're wrong to think that. But I'm also going to be fair to the film and tell you that I think that Rock and Chris Evans have chemistry. I think that when you look at just that little piece there where Evans is in the chair and he's like, of all the people here, I can tell I'm not going to like you. I'm not saying it's great screenplay or it's that funny. I think you need to absolutely punch the script up. This script's jokes are okay, not terrible, not great. I would love to see Lord and Miller come in here with Red One and clean this thing up and make it more of a weirder film and a funnier film. But I have to deal with what I have. The director of this, the same guy who did Jumanji, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's competent. I mean, does it look like a Disney Channel product? Yes, it does. But that said, I think the effects are solid enough. You know, you've got a ton of effects here. You've got all of the Santa Claus shit, and then you've got a witch, and then you've got Krampus, and you've got all these things. So there's a ton of money in this movie in effects. I mean, you wonder where the $200 million came from. For sure effects and the Rock salary. I'm sure Evans wasn't cheap. So you're paying cash for all of that. And all in all, I think, you know, aside from, like I said, you need to punch these jokes up. It's definitely too long. There's scenes like the Krampus scene where they're going to slap each other back and forth, the Rock and Krampus. That needs to be tightened. The jokes need to be punched up. And then you have the makings of something even better than what it is. That set. Okay, I sat behind a dad and his like 9-year-old son, and they were in front of me and they were laughing the whole way through. Now, that's not going to sway because trust me, I sat through like King of the Planet of the Apes and the audience was like, oh my God, it's so great, King of the Planet of the Apes. And I'm like, this is fucking terrible, you guys. God, it's boring. But that's not a comedy. The thing that at least this film has is a few laughs. I mean, the opening scene with Chris Evans as he's going to steal a card from one of the NORAD people, that scene's a shit show. I mean, that has to be rewritten. Again, there's things in here that have to be completely rearranged, and then we can make a better film. But as is, back to the dad and the son. They were laughing. They enjoyed it. And I think that's going to be the general reaction for Red One as it unveils here coming up on Thursday. It came out overseas this weekend, actually made about $25 million. This film's not going to be a huge hit, but credit to Amazon, MGM Amazon, to put this thing in theaters because, as you know, Netflix wouldn't, and neither would Apple really. They've all kind of scaled it back. And I know Amazon is doing the same kind of thing, but at least with the $200 million film, why not put it in theaters, right? And here's the plan. It makes sense. My MMT score is 70%. I mean, C minus, guys. It's like, for what it is, it's passable. Here's what I'm telling you. It's actually a brilliant release strategy, right? Have it come out now in early November, okay? And then it won't do that well, right? It's not going to like kill it, and it'll barely be in theaters even in like a month from now. So then what you do is you have this awareness from that theatrical debut, that release in theaters, even if it's, short-lived. And then you turn around and flip that to a digital sell on Amazon Prime at like $19.99. And then maybe by Christmas or a little after, you put it all to Prime members. So, we see how this all works, right? It's the release strategy. So I understand it. And I appreciate the fact that at least Amazon gave it in theaters. Listen, if you have kids and you're looking for something to do on a Saturday here ahead of Christmas, there's way worse things you could do than watch Red One, which is, I know, here's the thing. I was just looking on Twitter and there was a tweet. Let me see if I can find it here tonight. Give me 1 second. Is a tweet about Red One. And it's one of those things, right, where it's a film Twitter target. Film Twitter knows that they can hammer a film like Red One and get away with it because that's what it's supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to be doing here tonight. But I'm not hammering Red One because it is serviceable for what it's trying to be. Let me see if I can find the tweet. It's from some film Twitter card-carrying critic, learned loser critic, and they always are. They don't speak for anybody. You guys know that, right? I speak for all y'all. I'm the only person who said Joker 2's really fucking good, and now they're all coming. Now y'all come around. You're right. Weber was right. Well, of course I'm right because I don't just hammer films for no reason. I have to have a reason, and I have a very good reason to destroy Honora. Go back and watch my stream. I don't want to go through and relitigate it again. I just absolutely nuked it back on that stream. Don't make me do it again. I got to find it. But it was one of these that was like, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. I can't believe they made this. And here's the problem. The problem is it's not the worst movie ever made. If you're going to come on and you're going to tell me or issue a tweet that says Red One is the worst movie ever, it better be fucking terrible because it's not. And that's the problem. These people, though, know, pandering to the base, that they're going to come out of it and say, well, Film Twitter's going to destroy this film. It's an easy mark. Let's go ahead and hammer it because that's what's expected. I have never, and I mean never, come onto a stream and ever said what I'm expected to say about any film. I was expected to say Honora's great. I said I enjoyed Sean Baker's work. Definitely not. I think he's extremely overrated as a writer, but as a director, I like his work. But the problem is that when I go to see the film and I realize, holy shit, this is terrible, then I have the ability to go there. Whereas most people will be like, well, it's Sean Baker, so it's good. That's Film Twitter's number one problem. No balls. Okay, none, zero, because they cannot stand out on their own. They have to be in that pack, which is so pathetic because who are you even pandering to? Did you see these Film Twitter people? Why are you pandering to these people? Be your own person. Why would I give a shit what Film Twitter thinks? I don't care. I've never for a second worried about what Film Twitter thought about anything I have to say. Frankly, they probably don't care what I have to say. Good. It's a great relationship we have. But I'm right and they're wrong. That's the big difference. And that's a huge difference. Okay. Let me guess. Santa goes all abusive on elves in this one. No, Santa, played by J.K. Simmons, is actually a weightlifting badass. I like J.K. Simmons. He's better here than he was in the totally forgettable Juror number 2. Those of you who didn't get that theatrically, consider yourself blessed. I enjoyed Red One more than Juror number 2. Okay, I should have those flipped. But, right, you think about it, it's like a film that a courtroom drama. Weber's going to like that. Listen, I love any film that has real human beings and real humanity and grounded and emotion. So, but I also can watch a Red One and say, okay, I get it. I like The Rock enough. The only thing I will say as I close out Red One here, when I was watching this film, remember we talked about that story coming out of, I believe The Wrap reported that during Red One, The Rock would show up late for shooting all the time. And so all I could do watching Red One here was thinking, how long did everybody have to wait for Dwayne Johnson to show up and be ready to deliver his lines, right? Because that probably is true. Here's the thing. There's enough stories about The Rock that I have to believe a few. And here's what I will say, as someone who goes to the gym, and I know The Rock's way bigger than me. I don't listen. I mean, he's more muscular, but it's not like I'm not. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. When you go to the gym, it's kind of important. So I get how The Rock puts that as his number one priority. I guarantee it is. If you sign The Rock up for a movie, he's going to say, I have to have my gym time in the morning and then I'll show up to set. Fine. But then make your gym time from 8 to 10 and be on set at 11. Don't like go to the gym late and make everybody show up at 4 o'clock waiting for you. You sit and set that time so that you're on time, so the rest of the crew isn't waiting for you. Now, again, I can't verify that story, but I trust the sources that gave the rap that story, and apparently he was tardy. And that's not cool, right? I mean, listen, I do a stream on a Sunday night by myself along with Gone Girl. Props to Gone Girl again, everybody. Give him a thumbs up for helping me out, pushing buttons here, pushing comments. But ultimately, if I come on late like I was tonight, like 10 minutes late, so be it, man. I mean, what are we doing? No one's waiting around. Some of you wait. I'm saying the crew. There's no crew here. There's no grip back there and the director and you over. It's me all alone, no teleprompter, right? So I'm not making anybody inconvenienced by the fact I'm 10 minutes late. If you're a movie star, you've got hundreds of people on set waiting to shoot a green screen scene of you on Santa's sleigh along with J.K. Simmons and Chris Evans, and where the hell's The Rock? Oh, he's at the gym. What? Come on, man. You're getting paid like $40 million for this movie. I don't know, 20 to 40, right? $40 million. What's going on, man? Why can't you be on set? That's the issue. It's just like comes down to a human decency thing. And even if I was the biggest star in the world, which will never happen, they'll never let me be that. But you guys know. I mean, I should be. But here's the reality. I would never be the kind of guy who's like, oh, I'm going to make everybody wait. I'm not going to be there on time. You got to be on time. Be punctual, right? That's very important in any endeavor, any job you have. If you're supposed to be there at 9, be there at 9. You just don't show up 2 hours late. Or in these stories, the Back to the Red One stories about The Rock, he shows up at later in the day. Like we're talking like 8 hours late, according to that report. That's fucked up, man. That shows no consideration for your fellow co-stars, for your crew, and that's not acceptable. And I think that, that'd never happen. I can't imagine being that self-centered. I mean, I love going to the gym, but knock it out in the morning, then get to set. Just say I'll be there at 9:30. That's your time, call time. I used to work on the Jeff Foxworthy show way back when. I know I told you guys the story. I used to be a PA on Jeff Foxworthy. It was a sitcom back in the mid 90s, and everyone had to be on set at 10 o'clock. There was one person who'd always show up late. It wasn't Jeff Foxworthy. And everyone was like, dude, can't you just get here on time? It's like they're at 10:15. You just want to make sure that you're not inconveniencing and being a prick to your fellow coworkers there on set who are dependent on you being in place and ready when we say roll, right? That's the thing. It's one thing for The Rock to show up if his call time's 11 and he shows up at 12, then it's going to take him another hour to get the makeup done and get his outfit on and all that shit. Because in this movie, he's got this super tight, like Deadpool outfit. And then in the couple of scenes, they cut the sleeves off so he can show off these jacked. But that takes time. So again, just be punctual, be non-dickish to your co-stars. Steve, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support, Steve. I mean that. Listen, the channel's for fun. I enjoy doing it. I think we're good at what we do, and we like to piss people off, right? I go back to Social Network. He's like, that line so absolutely hits me so hard when he talks about the Winklevoss twins are like, what did you do with that app? He's like, I gave it away for free. And they look at him like, what? That's me in a nutshell. I'm like, I don't even care about views or super chats, even though I appreciate them. And I'm not saying Steve, keep going. But I'm saying I'm just that guy who's like, I don't care. Let's just do a stream and then we'll just forget about it. It's all good. Whereas other people are like, what should I say? Should I say the right thing? Will my audience like what I have to say? Or having to pander to the non-woke crowd? I don't want to do that, guys. I have no interest in doing that. I mean, I hammered a bunch of shit about the non-woke stuff recently. How many times have I hammered DEI? True, guys, no one has hammered DEI more than me. So that makes me anti-woke. But then I turn around and then I give high reviews to a national anthem that is a film full of trans, gay, all kinds of stuff. And that's fine. I don't care because that doesn't matter. But DEI is different, right? DEI is not woke. DEI is putting someone ahead of someone else because of the color of their skin. And I'm never going to do that, ever. White, black, Latino, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I know I'm right. I'm 100% right. DEI is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of in my life. And if you can't make it on your own merits, then you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. It's that simple. You work for stuff in life. You don't get things handed to you because of the color of your skin. You don't get an extra bonus because of the color of your skin. You get to work the same level as everybody else. How about that? Can you imagine that? That you have to actually back up and have talent rather than just get hired because of your background? Give me a fucking break. It's dumb. I'm 100% right. You guys know it. But guess who else would say that? Nobody in film Twitter. Film Twitter always canceled. What are you going to say to that? Come on, roll up. What are you going to say? You can't. That's the problem. That's why they lose. They go, well, I can't even attack that. Well, he's racist. That's what they, well, Weber's, what? How am I racist? I'd be racist if I was favoring other people, wouldn't I? I'd be racist towards the other. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? No, I'm right. I'm 100% right. Bad Boys 4, better film than Red 1. Well, listen, I didn't like either one that great, but Bad Boys 4 has so much screaming in it, right? It's got so much of that, and it's just out of control. Red 1 at least has the Christmas thing. It's got Santa. I mean, it gets an extra point or two for Christmas, doesn't it? Christmas movies are, and I could see this actually being liked over the years. It's going to end up as a film that people will maybe watch. I'm not saying it's going to be a Christmas classic. I did not say that. Do not put words in my mouth. But I will tell you that I think that people will watch this at home and say, I think it's not bad. I don't think this is the worst thing ever, right? It's not going to be one of those things where years on they go, my God, the total disaster. If you talk to Film Twitter, they're going to tell you that. And I don't think box office wise, it's going to be in trouble. No question about it. Saw Heretic last night, dug the religion, deconstruction, Hugh Grant and Sophie, but the back half was painfully derivative of what? Barbarian. 4 people walked out of the Dolby screening. Luis, I told you guys, the first half of the film, solid. Back half, bad. Heretic, overrated film. We're right again. We're right again. Weber's right. Dude, how often are we right? I would say our batting average is 950. It's at least 950. That's way higher. The average critic in the space is like 300, and that's good for baseball. 950? That's Hall of Fame shit. I mean, that's GOAT stuff, right? You guys know that. It is 100%. 950 is the highest batting average of anyone in the space, certainly of any film Twitter, or the chin stroking knobs like Robert Daniels and his 2,500 word think piece bullshit writing. Nobody reads except for Robert and his mom. Good God, that guy. I'll hammer him all day. But you're racist. I'm sorry. I just hammered him about being the most fucking chin stroking critic out there. Sorry. I don't care what race. It doesn't matter. Guys, I just think it's so funny how people love to go there when that's not at all what you attack people based on what they do, not the color of their skin. What are we doing? Who even does that? That's so broken. And there's so many broken people out there that I can't help them. But trust me when I say this, if you're that person who does that, and you wouldn't do that, you're a broken person and you're a bad person, and you would be in Red 1, Santa's naughty list, probably level 3. Evans in this is level 4. You would probably be level 3 for being totally mislabeling people and gaslighting and all the bullshit that comes along with it. Just saw Conclave, really good film, technically speaking, as well as the acting, great across the board. No doubt the last 20 minutes are divisive. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Listen, I didn't dislike. I'm lower on Conclave than a lot of people, but it's not because the twist at the end. It's because I feel like that film needs to be tightened up for sure. Number one. I also think that if we're going to talk about any kind of papal film, we need to go watch the Two Popes. The Two Popes is 1,000 times better than Conclave. I will stick by that. I know it's a Netflix film. Don't care. But Conclave, the interesting thing about that film is it's made, I think it's 25 million now. We talked about it this morning. That's a lot of money. 25 million. I think it's 21. $21 million is really strong for a film like Conclave. That's giving me hope for the smaller films as we roll in here to the last couple months of the year. We've seen those films struggle, but you look at Conclave doing better than Anora. It's got 3 times the cash of Anora, but if you didn't know, you would think Anora has more cash than Conclave. Conclave is really succeeding at a level that the smaller awards films, or just call them adult dramas, whatever you want to roll up with them, it certainly is an awards film. Those are struggle because those are viewed by people as being viewable at home, right? Not theatrically, and the weight. And what's happening is the studios are giving these films at home. And when that happens, then you just say, I'll just wait. We need the windows back. We've talked about it so many times. I need at least a 45-day window on everything. 45. If you bring me into AMC tomorrow, Regal. Hell, Regal, I always talk about AMC. Regal, bring me in. I don't need Adam Aaron. I don't fucking need that guy. He gets paid $20 million to do nothing. I will come into Regal tomorrow. You bring me on board, and you make me the head of theatrical scheduling, and I'm going directly, immediately, the first day I'm there, I am sending an email to every studio in this town, every single one, saying you will give us a 45-day window or your films will not play at Regal. Now, I'm going to hope that AMC is going to play along with me, but I'm not going to even worry about that because I don't need reinforcement. That's what we do here at MMT. I don't need the reinforcement of someone telling me Nora's bad. I love when you guys come in and tell me it's bad. I know it's bad. I told you why. And I don't need to worry about what film Twitter thinks. That's the problem with the majority of people in the space. They worry about how they're going to be viewed by their quote peers. First of all, there are no peers in this space. Everybody's out for themselves. Film critics are not chummy with one another. And if they are, it's fake as fuck. So I don't need that. You think I'm going to hang out with film critics? I told you guys, if I'm at a bar with film critics, only one of us is going home to get laid, and it's not them, okay? I'm not worried about them. This is the biggest group of incels that you can imagine. Yes, I'm going to firebomb those motherfuckers again. Film critics are largely the biggest group of incels on the planet. And unfortunately, I have to exist in that world with them. I will not, and I do not. And that's why I do my own thing, and I'll go to my own movies. I don't have to worry about them, which is perfect because the majority of them, not only can they not get laid, they can't get a movie right. That's a bad combination. Strike out, ladies and men, and then also they miss on the evaluation. This is a bad 1-2 punch. This is a brutalizing, I don't want to be around toxic. Weber's toxic. He's so terrible. Too bad. It is what it is. I'm not here for the approval of film Twitter. Fuck you. Listen, I didn't say it's not the worst film. Sully, it's not the worst film. I know, but listen, the worst film I saw this year is Tuesday. Tuesday's way worse than Red 1. Also, The Front Room. Oh my God. A24 be coming in with the worst shit you ever saw. None of you saw Tuesday. None of you saw The Front Room. If you had, you would know. Sully, did you see those films? You didn't. So don't come in here giving me shit, Sully. By the way, you're not an incel. You're one of the few. There's only a few. There's a couple who aren't, but the majority you can largely say. Oh, they're coming after me now. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Is film Twitter coming? Oh, run, everybody. Here comes the green hair crew. Ah! I mean, come on, man. Man, I just got done playing beach volleyball with my boys today. And it's great. I see that's the thing that we bring to the space. Normalcy. We have actually a life outside of just talking about films, which is very weird for this crew. The average person's like, well, all I did was watch movies all day. I'm like, well, come on, man. Get out and live a life. Get out and live a life. So Sully, you're not. I take back. It's only select people. I'll pick the people that fit that bill. Let's continue along here. But I'll mention this. Tonight's kid is Crystal Palace. By the way, some love here. Can I stand up for a second? Some love for Crystal Palace tonight. Yes, I mean I understand they're not having the best year in the Premier League, but why am I wearing this? Can anybody tell me why Weber went with Crystal Palace tonight? Come on, guys. This is all planned. These things. It's not Red 1 because it'd be a red jersey. Why am I wearing a very patriotic kid here tonight? Exactly. What is tomorrow? It's the Veterans Day edition of MMT. These things are planned out, man. This shit isn't just haphazard. We don't just throw this shit in a blender. Well, we do, but not the kits. I try to have some meaning to what I'm wearing when I have 150 kits in my thing. All right, here we go. Best films of the 2020s. This one is good. I like to read these things, so we just hammered critics. So let's see what they consider to be the top films of the 2020s. You guys ready? This is from a website that I actually, listen, can I give a little bit of love to Jordan, even though I accused him of plagiarizing a tweet of mine, which I think he did back when Tenet was out. I don't want to get into that here tonight, but I think he runs a good site with World of Real. And listen, here's what I'm able to do, right? Even if I think Jordan stole a tweet of mine and repackaged it, I'm still telling you here tonight because I'm able to forget all that and just who cares. And I'm ready to say that I think World of Real is a pretty solid site. I don't go there all the time. I mean, guys, listen, truth be told, I read a lot of you send me stuff. I end up looking at it. I don't spend all day like on THR, Variety, and Deadline. I see something big. I say, let's add it to the show on Sunday. I'm frankly, I got my mind on other things. So it's not like the only thing I'm caring about in life, but I think that's good. But as we look here at this website, I like World of Real, and we're taking it from there. So credit to Jordan. Here's the results of the best films of the 2020s. And I'm going to tell you what should be here and what should not be here. Okay, here's the list based on, by the way, I just like literally glazed Jordan. And yet he didn't ask me to vote in the critics poll because Weber's not a real critic. Oh, the fuck I'm not. How many critics have DMs from major directors all the time going, we watch you, you're really good, we like what you do, you're completely fearless, and you say shit no one else would ever say, and we appreciate that. So why am I not getting invited? Well, because film Twitter hates me. Well, because I just called them incels. I mean, I understand I get it. I'm not going to tell you I don't understand the hate, but I'm also going to tell you I don't fucking care. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? I don't understand. He's so just completely out of control, but yet it's all kind of makes sense. And he seems like he's actually measured in what he's doing. But occasionally we do take it too far, but that's part of the fun of doing a live show. I'm not going to pull it back. Here are the top films of the 2020s, according to this poll here. Number 1 is Oppenheimer with 22 votes. I don't agree with that. I do for sure agree with number 2. Tar is the number 1 film of the 2020s, and it's number 2. So it's very close. So I give credit for whoever these critics are. You sort of got something right. Okay, you didn't get it fully right because Tar is better than Oppenheimer, 100%. Oppenheimer does not have emotion. You're going to tell me it doesn't? We talked about it. Screenplay's not how I'd write it. It's very much non-linear. Obviously, you guys know that. I don't think that I would write an Oppenheimer script the way he wrote it. I'm not saying it doesn't work. You guys know what I'm saying, right? I don't think it's the best screenplay. I think the screenplay works. It's not how I'd write it. Tar, I wouldn't change a thing. Masterpiece. It's number 1 film of the 2020s. Everything Everywhere, number 3, completely fucked. That's so messed up. But still better than Anora. Everything Everywhere, better film than Anora. Okay, way better. Drive My Car. Solid. I think it's a little overrated, but I do listen. I love a 3-hour film where very little goes on. At the end, it's got this kind of bleak finish. Of course, I like that. I don't mind a 3-hour film with nothing happens. They say like you're gonna like Brutalist. I probably will. I don't need a lot of action. Real Pain doesn't have a whole lot of shit going on, but it's got humanity. It's got great character, Kieran Culkin. So listen, that's good by me. In fact, look at Tar. Is Tar an action film? Hell no. That's why I always laugh whenever I hammer a film. I say like Anora's bad. They go, oh, go back to watching your Red Ones. Well, I did just actually defend Red One, but you know what I'm saying? They don't know who I'm in. What are you talking about? My number 1 movie of the 2020s is Tar. No question. Not even close. Zone of Interest is a very good film. That should be up there. It is. Anatomy of a Fall. Strong. That's solid. I like that. Power of the Dog. I think it's one of Netflix's best films. I have no problem with Power of the Dog. Poor Things, no question, does not belong there. None. 0. Out. Past Lives. No chance. Fuck that. Poor Things is out. For sure. Past Lives is gone. Licorice Pizza is definitely not here. That's not the number 9. That's not 9 votes for best film of the year. Licorice Pizza, it's one of Paul Thomas Anderson's worst films. It's not as bad as Uncut Gems. Well, not Uncut Gems. Fucking Inherent Vice. Right? But listen, that's how the brain works, right? It's live. I'm like, I know it's not Uncut Gems. I'm like, it's the same thing, right? Right? It's the same pattern. Licorice Pizza doesn't belong there. Banshees of Inisherin, no. Promising, no. Anora, no. Aftersun, yes. Fablemans, hell no. All of Us Strangers, yes. That's interesting pick. One of the best films of last year. Got completely, absolutely fucked. Man, you talk about a film that deserved a lot more attention at the Oscars. All of Us Strangers, did it even get 1 nomination? Y'all talking about Poor Things. All of Us Strangers kicks the fuck out of that. It's not even a contest. All of Us Strangers, great film. Oh, but it's got a gay guy in it. I'm doing Gore's show right now. There's too much gay. I think someone said that's what Gore said one time. There's too much gay in it. Excuse me, what did you just say? Gore, you just said what? What the fuck kind of evaluation is that? There's too much gay. What? Who cares? What are you talking about? I don't want to see sex in a movie, period, whether it's gay or straight. I really am not. I'm kind of with Gen Z on this. If I want to watch sex, I'll watch Pornhub. I'll check out X Hamster. I'll check out that shit. I don't want to watch, like, Nora's weird with that shit too. Sean Baker's this older white guy like me. Forget I said white. It doesn't matter. Strike that from the record. I didn't say it. Older dude. And he's sitting there watching these younger kids, pretend fuck. And I'm like, it's kind of creepy. Sean Baker's creepy. Can we say, we said that before. I know I'm not going to get invited to any events. I'm not going to an event for a Nora after what I said about this film. Neon knows I'm single-handedly trying to wreck the film. I mean, come on, man. So no, but all of us strangers, again, sorry, I had to go on the side thing because I had to go back to, that was interesting, by the way. I had none of that planned. And then I realized the gay thing. And then I went, yeah, because someone told me Gore's criticism of, I think, Challengers was there's gay in it. Because you know what he's doing? What is he doing, everybody? He's pandering to his audience. That's exactly what he's doing. Poor Things or Anora. Anora's worse. Anora's terrible. I would sit through Poor Things again for the filmmaking. I would not sit through Anora again. I can't sit through that again. Not one joke's funny. And she's just yelling the whole time. Fucking terrible. One of the worst scripts I've ever seen. It's really bad. And I know you guys have seen it. Now you know I'm right. Killers of the Flower Moon, very strong film. I have no problem with it being here. RRR, fun film. I like it. I don't know if I'd put it in that thing, but listen, for a ballsy, weird, totally film that shouldn't work, but I mean, that's Bollywood, right? That's that just insanity. Throw everything in there and let it go. I mean, fine. Top Gun Maverick, yes. Worst person in the world, no. Barbie, no. And that's it. What do I put in there instead? I mean, for me this year, I would already put Substance in. I would put, oh my God, Handling the Undead. And I'd also put A Real Pain in there. All of those. Okay, he says this year, Dune got 5, Substance 4, Close Your Eyes. I don't think I saw Close Your Eyes. I saw TV Glow, no. The Beast, Brutalist, 3. So this year, and Nora got 8. Oh my God, guys, these critics are bad. They're so bad. So that's interesting. I like that little thing. Thanks, Jordan, for giving me for publishing that, and I gave you some love for it. So next time, just ask me to come in. The other critics will be like, "Did Weber vote? He's so toxic. He's the worst. I don't like him. He's mean." Well, I mean, yeah, I can be mean, but people are mean to me. I don't give a fuck. I use it as ammunition. Whenever someone comes after me and be mean, guess what I'm doing at the gym? I'm killing it, bro. Don't make me take my shirt off. I'll fucking destroy you. You can't even contend. It's not even a competition. You cannot contend. So I'm not worried about it. All you do is provide me ammunition. Do you guys understand that? The haters, if there are any, I love it. Why do you think I throw that fuel out there like calling critics incels? Because all it does is give me more fuel. Baby, I feed on that shit. I'm like, let's fucking go. And I go in there and tomorrow I'm going to destroy it. Tomorrow night, I'll destroy the gym. Well, these other critics are like, Weber's the worst. I'll be like, thank you. I'll be using that to max this shit. And then I'll rip my shirt off and run around the track and be a stud because that's how we do it. That's what they don't understand. Do not feed the beast. Do not feed the beast, baby. You will be sorry, baby. No, actually, keep doing it. It's great. Great show as always. Thank you, Robert. 80% of studio executives should be fired for lack of intelligence and knowledge. It's never going to happen. Robert, by the way, it's awesome meeting you a few weeks ago and I saw Memoir of a Snail after you recommended it, and it's a great film. It's one of my favorite films of the year, Memoir of a Snail. But listen, it's never going to happen. Here's why it's never going to happen. Because this stream has already blown me out of so many things. Because think about it. The stuff that I say on this film, do you think that any studio is going to hire me after I just said DEI should be abolished? No, because that makes me anti-woke. It makes me terrible. No, it doesn't. I explain it and it makes sense. I could not work in this town. I could work in this town in the 80s. I'd be amazing. In the 90s, not now. They would, first of all, white guy. That's not going to get you a job. Not in Hollywood. That's the funny thing. I used to think it's funny. Like I said, if I prove myself in this town and I do my thing and I'm bad and I know I'm good and people come in and tell me all the time, DMs, I wish I could share them with you. I can't. Here's the reality is that I know that what I do is much better than the majority of people in the space, but it doesn't matter. The studios are never, ever going to hire a white guy who is up there in years. Just stop at white guy. That's the reality of it. And that's so sad and so pathetic. But the reality is that I understand that. So as such, it's allowed me to come from the space where I don't give a fuck anymore about any of this shit. We wrote our script. Our script's the best script by far. I think it's as good, if not better, than A Real Pain. And I love that screenplay. And I know you guys are sitting here saying to yourself, Weber thinks his shit's so great. First of all, I am not the person who would say that what we wrote is great if I did not believe it. I would never do it. I would never, because I am the hardest critic. You guys don't understand. One of the reasons I go and I kick my ass so hard at the gym and I do so much more than the average person, I watch myself and what I do and the work I put in, is because my standard is so much higher than the average person. And if you go through life with a standard that's higher in any given area, then what you end up as your product is going to be better because you're pushing yourself and you're honest with yourself. And when you look at what we wrote, I will be flabbergasted if this film is not made. I mean that to you guys here tonight. I call me on it. In 6 months or a year, ask me, and I will tell you. And I will say it either is or isn't, and I will tell you I will be in a state of shock if this film is not made. And here's the other reason that I can't wait for this to happen. And I know this. This is what's going to be. This is the cherry on top. It's not why we did it. The cherry on top for this entire endeavor. And I know people say don't talk about your stuff. I'm going to talk about it because I'm going to tell you right now. What did I tell you guys? I tell you, what do I run on? I run on other people's criticisms. I run on hate. Roll up. Bring it. Film Twitter. That's what you don't understand. All you're doing is encouraging me. When that film's made, I cannot wait because what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to call it here tonight. You're going to watch, and guess what's going to happen? The people in the film Twitter space, the Robert Daniels of the world, and on and on and on, the Sean Fennessy, the Dak Prescott of the film Twitter space, the most overpaid, overvalued voice in the history of film. When he gets to watch it, even if they think it's good, do you think that they're going to say it's good? No, because they have the inability to remove themselves from, disassociate the creator from the art and the artist, right? They can't do it. That's what makes me so dangerous. I can do that. As much as I hammer a Robert Daniels or a Sean Fennessy on and on, pick a critic that's bad. There's so many of them. It's not even one or two. It's the majority of them are blowhard, untalented, 100%. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If one of those people that we hammer all the time, let's use Fennessy, for example, complete and utter fraud, complete fraud, total fraud, embarrassing. You guys, it's laughable. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If Fennessy wrote a script that I thought was great, I would say it's great because I don't care, because all that stuff doesn't matter. Ultimately, I'm looking at the product in front of me. The other critics don't have that skill set because they can't get out of their own way. Whereas I have, again, you can call me all the names you want. If all of a sudden you turn out to do something great, I'm going to say it's great because that's what I bring to the table that most people cannot comprehend. The ability to reset and say, I'm going to be completely objective here and not be biased. That's the problem. There's too many people in this world that can't. Go back to Trump and what we just saw with Trump and Harris. So many people cannot get out of the way of thinking, and here comes everybody, that Trump is Hitler. First of all, tell me why. Tell me why. Why? What are you talking about? If he were Hitler, we would have seen this shit happen in 2016, 17, 18 when he was president. Why didn't we see all these things? Oh, now he's going to... You guys, do you understand that when you take somebody and you wholesale trash them like that, no one's saying that Donald Trump doesn't have his issues. Harris has hers. Certainly the voters let their voices be heard, and we know who won. But here's the problem. We have so many people out there who literally create hysteria. They create all this shit and this drama, and they throw it into it. And it's like, here's the reality. Whoever won this election, and I'm not telling you who I voted for, whoever won this election, my life is not going to be that vastly different between the two. Now, I will say, and I've said this before, and I'm going to do it again tonight. And I know this is not a liberal mindset, but I'm going to have to say it. I 100% believe, and I'm going to get super chat. Leave it up there, Vader Monkey. Leave it there. I'm going to get it. Please, Gongo, leave it. I'm going to get this out. I'm going to tell you this. There's no question, none, zero. I don't care. Listen, I don't care where you go politically. I'm going to tell you right now, we cannot have an open border. We cannot. We cannot have an open border where we just let anybody come across. We cannot. There's no debate to be had. Okay, none. We're not having it. So if you were to ask me which one of these candidates is going to get some control and have immigration back through the proper channels where you have to apply. You don't just everybody listen. Here's the problem with the world, right? The problem with the world is everyone thinks they're owed shit. No, we're not. I don't think I'm owed anything. I don't think I'm owed subscribers. I don't think I'm owed views. I don't think I'm owed shit. I've got to work for my stuff. And the fact that we have a country that people walk across and go, here's a whole bunch of free fucking shit. No. Here's how I'm going to run my country. And I know, watch out, he's turning Trumpian. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You are in my society based on your level of what you bring to the table. If you are a freeloading mooch who doesn't do anything for society, only make it worse, we can't have you. You don't need to be here. That's the thing. If you come here through the proper channels and you're doing things that are productive, you have a job, you're doing your thing, then good. Then you're here. We're good. I have no problem with that. We just can't be like, here, let's just let everybody come in. Look at what's happening in New York. Look at what's happening in these small cities, Springfield. I know, wow, watch out. Weber's gone right wing. Guys, I'm right. You guys know I'm right. You cannot just have an entire influx of hundreds of thousands of immigrants from other countries and just throw them into different places and say, you deal with them, cities. The schools are going to be wrecked. You've got the police forces are dealing with stuff they don't want to deal with. I'm not talking about anyone eating cats, by the way. I'm just talking about the overall surge of all of a sudden you've got this massive population of people that have to adhere to the rules. And what I'm hearing, and I'm not saying I can't absolutely confirm this because I'm not there, but what you hear is that some of these people are coming here and have no respect for the rules and regulations. And I'm telling you here, I'm a very big rules and regulations guy. You have to have that. You cannot have a society where people do whatever the fuck they want. You have to have a society where there are norms and there are accepted way of going about things and traffic laws. And all these things have to be adhered to. And if you're not going to adhere to those things, then we can't have you here. And so if you're to ask me which one of these candidates do I believe is going to get a better control on that, I'm going to say Trump. So, there you go. I mean, I think if you're not saying that, you're not being fair. Okay. Because here's the reality. If you voted for Harris, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I'm definitely not an all side one way or the other. Here's the thing. If Harris were going to be that person, why wasn't her administration, whether she's at the head or not, why wasn't her administration taking care of that? Why did they? I can tell you this right now, and this is, and then we're going to get off politics. I don't want to do this all night, and I'll get to super chat. Leave it there. Here's what I'm going to tell you: is that if Harris had 2-3 months ago gone down to the border and said it's over. We are going to shut this shit down. We're going to get control on this. Everyone who's here is going to be vetted. We're going to go through this. If she had done that, she would have won. Not a question. So you tell me why she lost. It's exactly what I just brought up. And by the way, this is why we're better than everybody else. There's nobody else in the space who would do what I do objectively and how I just laid it out because they'd be afraid of being ostracized from one side or the other. I have no fear of that. I don't care. Okay. I had some random film Twitter loser come after me months ago because when I came out of Civil War, I said something about Trump and Trump's not the worst thing. He's not Hitler, which I just said again. And he was like, oh, he's gone full, swastika. I'm like, you guys are so fucking, man, what's wrong with you? It's broken. It's broken. So I think here's what I'm going to tell you. We need a reset. This country needs a reset. There's no question about it. We need a hard reset on where we're headed, and that has to happen. So if that's Trump, it's Trump. I don't even care who it is. I just need a hard reset. We cannot continue the way we're going. It just can't happen. Things are deteriorating so fast. We got Prop 36 finally passing out here. Thank God. But listen, even that, let's talk about California for a second. We'll get back to movies. Sorry, guys. We already did our evaluations. We did our thing. We've done a lot on movies. I have to speak my piece. And by the way, just so you know, nobody else does what I do. Nobody. Let me do a super chat and I'll get back to it real quick. Would you be open to doing any interviews? Yeah, absolutely. Sure. 100%. Yeah, Vader. 100%. Yeah. Anytime. Yeah, for sure. I'll give you send Gone Girl your email or something. We put it in there. We'll figure it out. I'll do it. Here's what I'm gonna tell you: is that when you look at where we headed, we have to get better control on society. We cannot have people just walk into stores and steal shit. We cannot just have people come in, right, pull a car up, walk in, and start loading racks of shit into their car and drive off with no consequences. We can't have that. It just can't happen. So we need to start. And here's the deal. I'm not even kidding you when I say this. If you pull that shit now in my society, I'm throwing you in jail for 5 years. 5 years. 5 years. As soon as you walk into the store and you take, I was at Marshall's the other day. Yes, I shop at Marshall's and Ross. And I was talking to the lady and she was like, yeah, we have people that literally pull up and they walk in, they take entire racks of shit out of here. Like, you know how they have the racks of stuff that's going up on they're going to sell it? They take the whole rack out of the store and they walk out. We can't have that. So how do you deter that? You inflict serious penalties upon those who break the law. You're going to jail. You're going to jail for 5 years. You're not going, no, you're not probation. You're going to jail. As soon as you're convicted, you're going to jail for 5 years. You just stole shit. We're not going to have society where you walk in and steal shit. People are shoplifting right and left. They're going in and they're using the self-checkout to fake check stuff. We can't have a society that has no rules and no social norms. We cannot have it. So however you feel, I'm right. And I know I'm right. So ultimately, we got to get a better control on that. And it's got to happen. If it does not happen, we are going further down. So we need to reset. We need to be cracked down on this shit. And listen, I have no tolerance for criminals. None, zero. I have no sympathy for criminals. I don't give a fuck what your situation is. You still have to adhere to the law. You cannot just because of your situation, I'm going to go steal shit. Get a job. Figure it out. Life's not easy, okay? Life is not easy. You cannot go through life expecting everything handed to you. It doesn't work like that. Well, apparently it does in some circles. Not for me, okay? I have been in very high and I've been very low. We've talked about that. But one thing I've always known is ultimately you have to work out of it and you cannot have someone help you. You have to be able to, on your own, create that within you that propels you forward. And if you do not have that in life, then we have to reinstill those values in people because we just can't have this society like this. So sorry, it is what it is. Okay. I don't know what the screen unseen is tomorrow, Gongo. Thanks. By the way, this is great. Whenever I do too much politics and I get into it, Gone Girl's like, how about we go this way? Thank you. It's fine. That was good. It's perfect. I don't know. Let me look real quickly before we roll out of here. Am I at an hour? I mean, I feel like I've gone an hour, dude. Damn, man, I'm by myself. I'm by myself doing an hour. Nobody else doing this shit. Is anybody else? Literally, it's all like politics. We talked about politics, but it's not like that's all we're doing here. We just do it. Oh my God. By the way, Alex Jones is like broadcasting on Twitter 24 hours a day. Whenever I look up, I see Alex Jones as one of the viewable streams. Thanks for being here, by the way, if you're watching on Twitter. Let's go to X, whatever you want to call it. Let's look and see what AMC has playing tomorrow. This is where we try to guess the film for tomorrow. And we go and we hit this tab. Here we are. We're on amctheaters.com. Let's look here. If it's Nickel Boys, I'm excited because I want to see that film and it opens closer to Christmas. So that'd be a really early screening. I'm hearing it's very good. It's Amazon. That's typically a studio that does those. So as we look at this, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. It's PG-13, which I believe Phil's, let me hold on for a second. Let me do this. Well, 9, I got to put in my zip code here. Burbank, and we'll see. Pardon me for the burp. Let's find out what it is. Let's go to the Burbank 16 and we'll check. I think it's 216 PG-13. What's the other one? Albany Road. What the fuck is Albany Road? I don't even know what that is. What is Albany Road? No idea. I know what Nickel Boys is. That's Amazon's hopeful best picture. That looks interesting. I would go see that tomorrow if it's available. If that's the movie. Let's see. I think it's going to be everywhere, but let's just go to Burbank since I'm down the street from that. And if I want to go, I can go. And then I can see all my friends in film Twitter. No, they don't come. They all go to the press screenings. We're so cool going to the press screenings, aren't we? No, not really. I mean, that's what I always say. Like, it's weird how these people drive around town to watch these movies and they don't even really have an outlet. Like, they don't even have, like, no one even really pays attention to them. Like, why are you driving around watching movies? Like, what are you doing? Right? Like, I know you like it, but what are you doing with it? That's what I was doing for a long time. And I said to myself, let's at least start a stream. And at least if I'm going to watch these movies, I can talk about them and discuss them rather than just send a tweet. A tweet's cool and all, but it doesn't do shit. I mean, it's just like, whatever. Who cares if it gets, if it gets traction or it doesn't make me any money. Why do I care? I think people put too much stock into tweets. Like, who cares? I don't even see it for tomorrow. Here it is, 7:00. It's okay. It's 2 hours and 19 minutes and PG-13. I think it makes sense to have it be Nickel Boys. Nickel Boys is a long film. If it is, hey, whoever it is, tweet at me tomorrow when you know what it is and I'll go. If it's Nickel Boys, I'll see you guys. I'll see you there tomorrow night. Everybody will love seeing me. I come in now and try to hide in the corner because I say so many things. By the way, I want to get to this. Joker 2 still rules. We talked about this. Am I the only person who said Joker 2 rules? I think I am. I think I'm the only one, but not according to this background actor who said Joker 2 is the worst film ever made. People on set said this is going to bomb. It's not even hate watchable. Here's how terrible it is. Who is this clown? Comedian Tim Dillon, who apparently has a blink and you'll miss it role in Joker Folie à Deux, said it's terrible. Worst film ever made. Oh, this was loved by incels. This was loved by the wrong kinds of people. Hey, if this was loved by incels, then why did critics not like it? Oh, wait, the first one? I had to bring that back. Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. He's wrong. He has no plot. What do you do? Listen, I'm going to tell you the courtroom stuff definitely needs to be condensed. But Joker 2, go back to my stream. I'm not going to do it again tonight. We already talked about it. I can't spend all the energy again. Go back and watch my Joker 2 reaction. You'll see it there. And I defend the film. I think it's cinema. I think it's one of the best films of the year. No question about it. It's certainly better than Everything Everywhere. It's better than Poor Things. So there's two films right there. The best of the 2020s. The Joker 2 is better than. Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm 100% right. Okay, let's do Daniel Craig. I saw this quote. I want to get him in here. I don't think I have an actual thing for this. So just bring comments, and if you have any, Gone Girl. This is Daniel Craig talking about his, he's got the next Knives Out coming out, and he really wants Netflix to put this thing in theaters. And I was reading through this article on Variety, and he's talking about it, and I go, okay, here we go. Listen, I give him credit. Daniel Craig's a badass because he's a true theatrical champion. Remember last week we gave it to Margot Robbie? Well, this week let's go ahead and give that to our boy 007 because he is truly one of the few actors out there who's calling this shit out. And let me find the exact quote. I had it in here. I got to look. It's like the whole article's about his movie Queer, which, by the way, Gore will say is terrible because it's got gay in it. It's a gay character. Therefore, it's bad. If Gore says that, please let me know, guys. Will you guys holler at me? Someone send me that. We'll watch it. We'll watch Gore talk about how it's bad because it's gay. So bad. So bad. So dumb to say that. Here it is. Does Craig wish the next installment of the current signature franchise, Knives Out, play in theaters for more than a week? I do. I hope. Hopefully, Netflix will push it out a bit and people will get to see it. The people I speak to, the fans, I suppose, all they want to do is take their families and go see it at cinemas. That's all I want to do. Hopefully, we can give them that experience. I think we talked about that a little bit last week, but it's not Margot Robbie. Let me pull that up. It's not Margot Robbie. It's Daniel Craig this week. But listen, give him credit. We hammered Netflix all the time, and we're doing it again here tonight. Netflix sucks donkey balls. It's not that good. Help me out, guys. Give me something better. I'm tired. They're terrible. They're the worst studio in Hollywood because they don't care about any kind of theatrical. And as such, we don't like them. And that's why we like Daniel Craig because he's a theatrical champion. Let's see. Do we have one more thing before I get out of here? I'm really running out of gas. This is where at the point of the night where I'm completely lost everything. Tom Hanks. Oh, let's just for fun. You guys ready? I'll probably do this again. This will be a repeat deal here. You guys ready? Here we go. Let's pull this up. Paul Mess. You guys never watched this before. This is our physique critique, everybody. For those of you who've never watched physique critique, this is where we take a star and say, is this really that good a physique? You guys ready? Here's Paul Mescal saying he became so muscular, he felt his body could inflict real damage after intense training sessions for Gladiator 2. Let's have a look at what he looks like. I mean, he's, I do like his mullet. I like it a lot. Okay, there he is. Can I just say that's not that muscular? I know that's going to get me in trouble. It's not that muscular. I mean, he looks okay. It's not like he's not in shape. He's got some six packs coming in. He's got a six pack coming in. But you know what I'm saying? Like he talks about. I'm not that impressed with Paul Mescal's physique. And I know. But here's what I'd love to do. Just real quick. It's not gonna be long. It's only because I'm allowed to do this, and the reason I'm allowed to do this is because I'm going to show you, and then you'll understand why I can do this and nobody else in the space can do it. Because this is what I look like with a shirt off. So I can talk about Paul Mescal. Do you understand? That's the difference between me and all these other film Twitter people. They can't do this. They couldn't do a physique critique with Paul Mescal. They'd be like, what? Everyone would be like, what are you talking about, doughboy? My God, did you eat? How many tubs of popcorn you eat? I don't do that shit. No, I like popcorn. It's cool, but I don't need a lot of it. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's what we do better than anybody. We're able to do this because most people can't do this. Because if you can't walk the walk, you can't talk the talk if you don't walk the walk. You can talk, but then people make fun of you. You can't make fun of me. What are you going to say? I'm in better shape than Paul Mescal. 100%. 100%. 100%. What do you want me to say? Do you want me to lie? I'm not going to lie. Oh, whoa, dude, the sun just came on. Ah! All of a sudden, my light just like cranked up. So listen, Paul looks okay. I think overall it's like it's okay. It's okay. We'll do that again as the movie comes out. I'll see it when it comes out. Someone was asking me, by the way, the thing is like full on sun wattage at this point. All of a sudden, it just like turned on. So if you can see like inside my skull, that's not good. Let's get ready to wrap here. Any other comments here tonight? Any other super chats? By the way, Steve, thank you. And to who was the other $5? Thank you for that. And by the way, yeah, I'll set up an interview. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm totally down for that. But just know that I might offend some people. That's what I do. That's what I do better than anybody. Any other comments here tonight before we get out of here? I'll hit it. I think Gone Girl's like I'm out of here. It's an hour. I'm leaving. Let me see if I missed anybody. Let me make sure I got it. Steve, thank you again. Really appreciate it. You're the man. Thank you so much. Also, Vader Monkey, thank you. You're awesome. Anybody who sent one, thank $10. Really appreciate that. And Robert, awesome. Really appreciate it. Again, never going to happen. Never going to get hired by a studio because I already told you why. Any other comments for free speech? Thank you, Vader Monkey. I know, but here's the thing. As we wrap here tonight, free speech is a wonderful thing. And, listen, some of the things I say is not going to go over well with some audiences. It is what it is, man. Because ultimately, when you're authentic and you believe what you say, then you're not worried about what other people think. Okay? If you run your life worried about what other people are thinking about you and or how someone's going to perceive you, you got a problem. Do not do that. You live your life, what makes you happy within the rules. We talked about rules. We don't want someone just out there doing whatever they fucking want. Okay. You're not Art the Clown. I don't want you out there doing that shit. I want you just to go out there and not worry about the approval of others. The sooner you realize you don't need the approval of others, the more you're going to succeed in life. And if that's the main takeaway here, that's the main takeaway. And I know most film people aren't going to talk about that because it's like all film. This channel's not really that. It's got a bunch of other things going on. Obviously, we proved that here tonight again. Thanks for being here live from the City of Angels. We're back here maybe on Thursday, maybe not. It's Red One's the only big movie. So I might, depending on what else comes out here in Burbank, or if I see something. I did see The Last Showgirl, which I liked, but I want to save that. That doesn't come out till January. So if I start talking about it now, we can do a review probably next Sunday of Last Showgirl. I've got it. They were so kind to send me a link. So thank you to Roadside Attractions for that. But I do like the film. I have some issues. We'll talk about that coming up here. If not Thursday, then Sunday. And if I don't see you until next Sunday, have a safe week, productive week. Get out there, kick ass, and don't worry about other people think of you because it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you have to make yourself happy and make yourself proud of you. Oh, God, I feel like Stuart Smiley right now. Peace out. Live from LA. See you next time. MMT.